The Portland situation is about to get even worse. I will explain in a second. But if you are unaware, it's already pretty bad. Protesters and federal agents have been clashing every single night for well over 100 days in a row now at this building.
If passed, the city will have to take active steps to thwart ICE.
This includes mandatory training for city employees, telling them what to do and not do if approached by ICE agents.
That's right. Instead of the city trying to work together and figure out how the protesters and the federal agents don't clash, the city wants to pass a brand new sanctuary law to force the city to push back against Homeland Security and deportation operations. And if you ask me, that seems to be a little bit of an escalation of force to pass a law to resist against ICE, even though this is already a sanctuary city. So we're going to dig into all of this and figure out what the heck is actually going on. Now, before we start the video, I need you guys to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, and it also helps others see the videos as well. Also, by sharing the video, that's a massive help. People need to know what's going on in Portland because the mainstream media is not talking about this.
In the event that there is a heightened ICE presence in Portland, we want to make sure we're ready beforehand.
This story developing tonight, the city of Portland looking at ways to crack down on ICE. Leaders set to introduce a new ordinance tomorrow that would make Portland's sanctuary city policy a law.
I already know what you're all thinking. Isn't Portland already a sanctuary city? Why are they creating another sanctuary law if Portland is a sanctuary city? Well, the city council member said it himself.
In the event that there is a heightened ICE presence in Portland, we want to make sure we're ready beforehand.
I mean, you can't make this up. This is the city of Portland preparing for some sort of ICE takeover or a surge in ICE agents within Portland. That's all this is. Basically creating a more strict law that forces the city of Portland to push back or not cooperate with these deportation operations. But that also includes what's going on at this federal building between protesters and federal agents clashing.
Came out later in court that one officer told another, if it were not ICE, we could assist directly. Nightly protest police admitted to us that they have not made a single arrest out there since June 18th.
I'm telling you, the amount of people who don't know this is happening is quite incredible, but I need your help. Make sure to please subscribe to my channel so I can keep you guys updated on this story because a lot of people don't know this is going on and people need to know. So make sure to please subscribe so I can give you guys the most up-to-date information on this story.
A new ordinance that makes it harder for ICE to do its job in Portland. The ordinance includes training city employees about what they should do if and when they're approached by ICE and ask for specific information. And it would require the city to research what immigration officials are doing in Portland.
So instead of working with Homeland Security and deportations, again, this is the opposite effect. This is all for resistance, and you heard it straight from the news, make it more difficult for ICE to do their job in Portland. And I hope you guys caught how vague that last statement was. Make it a law to research what immigration officials are doing in Portland. That is the most vague way of trying to say we are watching ICE and we're going to be recording what they're doing.
And it would be really helpful if people who are on the ground, who are able to see some of the technology that ICE is using, if you could photograph it and send it to our offices, that's all information that we can use to try to figure out where we need to target because it's not freely available to us, all of the tools that they have at their disposal.
I've played that video before multiple times on my channel, and now it's starting to make sense. That is a city council member just a month ago requesting for people to take videos and pictures of the equipment ICE is using, and now that same council member, it looks like she's trying to implement it into a sanctuary law since we heard how vague that last statement was.
And it would require the city to research what immigration officials are doing in Portland.
And that same city council member does advocate on her own TikTok gathering data or counterintelligence to see what ICE is all about. So again, this is all starting to line up because she is one of the co-signers of this new sanctuary policy.
You might be wondering, how much does this ordinance cost taxpayers? District 2 Councilor Samir Canal says it shouldn't cost much at all because these trainings already exist. District 3 Councilor Angelita Murillo joined in as a co-sponsor. This ordinance is currently a draft and will continue to receive feedback. Here's what else is in there.
So, according to the city council, this is not going to cost that much money. But the question is, how much money does Portland actually have? Because when you look into the statistics of money in Portland and taxes, this is what you find.
The protest chaos, which began with riots aimed at social justice in 2020, has severely damaged Portland's reputation. It's now ranked by the nonpartisan Urban Land Institute as the second worst place in America to invest. With 6.5 million square feet of commercial vacancy, the top 20 office towers have lost 57% of their combined value in 5 years.
Now here's the thing, and this is why I make these videos. Even if you do not care about Portland, this directly affects you. When the Portland police are told don't work with ICE, that affects me and you when it comes to taxes. Because guess what? This Portland federal building, since it has taken such a beating and these federal agents are getting attacked basically every single night, more money has to be spent now to defend this building.
Kyle, you've been looking through government contracts, including what looks like a $4 million effort to upgrade security at that ICE office. What'd you learn?
Well, the work at ICE's Portland office started in 2022 and includes stronger perimeter fencing, new gates, reinforced security glass, and more floodlighting, according to federal records.
You heard that correctly. $4 million is now needed to upgrade this building when it comes to actually protecting this building. And who knows how much more money is being spent on the amount of people who have been arrested, detained, and other things that have to do with this operation outside of just the physical building that you see right here. It's probably a lot more money than $4 million, but guess what? Since this is all a federal operation, me and you, everyone, we are all paying for this. And the city of Portland, they're not just sending in some police officers to calm it all down.
The plans also called for improvements to the facility's guard station and emergency exits. A second round of security upgrades are currently underway. A $4.5 million contract was awarded earlier this year. It calls for more security around the exterior of the building, including bulletproof glass, upgraded lighting, and added protection for ID card readers.
Okay, check out this comparison for the new viewers here. What you're seeing right here, this is what the building actually looks like when it hasn't been protested for 100 days in a row now. So this is what it looks like when it's brand new. And this right here is the aftermath of a massive protest that occurred back in July. So I'm just trying to show you guys, at first the building was totally fine, then it got smashed up, and then the federal agents had no choice but to board it up. But still, our taxes are paying for all of this. So if you dislike Portland, just so you know, you're still paying for this.
In June, federal records show the government paid $220,000 to board up the windows. And earlier this month, ICE asked for more security improvements due to the ongoing protest outside the building. Now, last week, the city of Portland issued a land use violation for the ICE building. One of the violations was for the boarded up windows. The city complained ICE didn't get proper permits or approval, so the city says the plywood must come down.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The city of Portland is upset that the windows have been boarded up, even though the local police have not made any arrest or attempt to stop their own citizens into attacking this building. So I'm just trying to show you guys, this is what's really going on in Portland. This is why I need your help to please send the message out. Please like the video, share this video so people know what's really happening here.
District 1 Councilor Loretta Smith.
I agree with the intent. The intent is that we need to be able to tell our city bureaus, you do not have to comply with ICE or others who ask you to do things as it relates to people who are undocumented.
A little over 24 Portlanders have submitted written testimony, the vast majority in support. One writing, I think it's important to reflect our shared values in our city code and not rely on state policy.
So what's interesting about this new sanctuary policy, I mean, this is Portland really solidifying themselves of even breaking away from their state policies and creating something that is so solid and so restrictive within their own city. This is really the best way Portland is going to try and resist against ICE. But again, this is not only about deportation operations. Remember, the police don't show up in this area when 911 is called if it has to do with some sort of confrontation or dealing with ICE. Specifically, the people who live across the street have been begging for the police to show up, but a judge has ruled in favor of the police to not have to show up due to the sanctuary policies of Oregon and of Portland.
Almost 20 people testified, not one against the ordinance. You want to take a listen?
Friend who I met through mutual aid work, and she is undocumented. She's afraid to go to the grocery store or to take her daughter to school or her after-school activities. So I drive her now, because no parent should have to choose between feeding their family or risking separation from their children.
So again, I really want to highlight this entire narrative when it comes to this new sanctuary policy. It all has to do with the deportation operations. The point I'm trying to make is the sanctuary policy already put in place affects people that have nothing to do with the deportation operations. If I call 911 across the street because people are lighting fires right here and are really loud, happens every single night, how does this have to do with anything with deportation operations? And now that you want an even more strict sanctuary policy, I mean, what does that mean for the rest of the city? Now, the other thing about these clashes at this federal building, it doesn't only occur just right here on the sidewalk. Oftentimes, the big ones occur all the way down the road over here. Again, why wouldn't the Portland police or the city want everything to calm down right here? And we're also talking about encampments all over this sidewalk and up the road over here, and all of that tear gas seeps into the residential buildings all throughout this area. So I'm just trying to ask some questions here. You guys can leave your comments down below. How does this have to do anything with deportation operations? Again, I could not imagine a way more strict sanctuary policy. I mean, that just opens up the floodgates for even more clashes to occur, because if you really do isolate the federal agents, they're not going to have a choice but to do their job, to try and calm the situation down. There is a very hard equal balance here for the federal agents. The agents have to make sure that these protesters are able to protest. If an agent stops these people from protesting legally, that's a problem. But when they start to break federal laws, they are on their own. The federal agents are on their own to squash the situation. So when protesters throw rocks at this building and they start to run down the road, I mean, what do you expect? Federal agents are going to be flooding these roads, and I thought the city of Portland doesn't want that. And one of the ways that the city of Portland can mitigate all of this, calm it all down, send the police in to actually do their job and calm everyone down.
This will extend the requirement of not doing the work of federal immigration enforcement, which currently is primarily focused on PPB, to all city employees, facilities, and money. It will define public spaces within city buildings as compared to some that are for authorized personnel only, which helps convey information to the public and city employees about where a judicial warrant or a city badge is required to enter.
Now, the other really big obvious thing here nobody is talking about, what is the point of trying to create these state-level sanctuary policies when we know the Trump administration has already made it clear this means nothing to federal agents? On all of your state laws, you can make it illegal for federal agents to go into any of your buildings, but since we have what's called supremacy clauses, none of these laws mean anything. So instead of the city of Portland trying to figure out how to possibly work with the Trump administration or to figure out a deal to make the city better. They're just resisting. They're wanting to push back. And again, I completely understand. I actually know why they don't want to work with the Trump administration. If you don't like deportations, that's fine. That's probably why you voted for those city councilors. But I make my videos to educate people who live in these sanctuary cities. All of these laws that they're talking about are virtually going to do nothing. Just ask Gavin Newsom up in California. He just signed a bill that has to do with demasking federal agents. Guess what? That is a state-level bill in a sanctuary state, and these sanctuary cities, they can't do anything. These bills cannot touch the faces or the bodies or the policies of federal agents. So the real question here is this just symbolic, or is Portland really trying to get something going here?
We reached out to ICE and we got a statement reading in part, upholding federal law and order doesn't stop because the city doesn't welcome it. We can operate in any ICE facility nationwide. Allowing criminals to roam free is a real fear, unlike the fabricated tales city councilmen, politicians, and media tell of people being snatched or disappearing like a sci-fi novel.
Yeah, so this situation is rather unique because even in Los Angeles, when you have these clashes, the police actually do work with Homeland Security to calm everyone down. And that's mostly to protect the protesters so they don't get a federal charge or are put in prison for quite some time. That is to protect the LA citizens to just get a simple citation and a slap on the wrist. Meanwhile, the Portland police, again, they don't show up here. So a lot of these protesters, their entire lives are being ruined because they don't have anybody to stop them on the local and state level. I mean, if Portland really doesn't like the federal agents, why are they not coming in to help out these protesters and tell them, hey, you might want to back up, or hey, you can't do that, you might get arrested? Nope, we're just seeing people get arrested left and right. And here's the thing, in today's political climate, you know dang well that these federal agents are not going to be playing games anymore. We already saw it up the road in Eugene, Oregon, where people were arrested immediately. They were not playing games up the road, and I know for a fact the policies have completely changed. I know these agents watch my videos. Their policies have changed. It's no more you can just walk on the facility grounds and yell at us. You can get arrested for this due to the heightened tension, especially what happened down in Dallas. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope we can get some peace. We can all come together, but it looks like the city of Portland has really escalated the situation, and they're being very black and white. This all has to do with resistance and creating limitations for how ICE can operate in Portland. That is straight from the words of the media in Portland and straight from the words of the council members. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. God bless, and we'll see you all later.